So today we want to talk about the disadvantages of bicameral legislature. Last week we talked about advantages of bicameral legislature, and today we want to talk about the disadvantages of bicameral legislature. Some of the disadvantages of bicameral legislature are: number one, it is expensive to maintain or run bicameral legislature. And number two, it duplicates bicameral. When we have a country that is operating on bicameral legislature, one of the problems is that it duplicates the lawmaking process. And number three, it delays the passage of bills. Number four is it is undemocratic. It is undemocratic. And number five, it delays the passage, it delays the work of government. Number six problem is that there is a problem with power sharing. And number seven, it may lead to conflict. Number eight, bicameral legislature is not favorable in times of emergencies. I will take my time and explain. But as I said in previous lecture, I said if all that you have been taught is unicameral legislature, you should be able to use the same knowledge to answer any question pertaining to bicameral legislature. So please, let's move on. A bicameral legislature is expensive to maintain, or it's expensive to run. This very system involves huge sums of monies to run or operate. So you remember in our previous class, we stated that one of the features of bicameral legislature is that it is practiced by countries with sound financial background. That is, rich countries usually practice bicameral legislature. And we were referring to the fact that the system is very expensive to operate. The system involves establishing a first house and a second house, which involves huge sums of money. It involves paying the salaries of legislators at the first house and also the second house. And whatever is provided for the people or the legislators at the first house must also be provided for the legislators at the second house. All these make the system very expensive to run. And that is one of the problems of countries operating on bicameral legislature. Let's move to the second one. That is, it duplicates the lawmaking process. Bicameral legislature duplicates the lawmaking process. When we talk about duplicate, the word duplicate is a copy. A copy is the same as original. The copy and the original contains the same information. So one of the problems of bicameral legislature is it duplicates the lawmaking. It duplicates the lawmaking process. That is, the two chambers perform almost the same function. What's the same functions they are performing? That is the lawmaking. They are all making laws. They are all making laws. And it's a duplication of functions. Example, if I teach you a topic like a unicameral legislature, and another teacher comes and also teach you the same topic, unicameral legislature, it is a duplication of functions. What are we all teaching? Unicameral legislature. If one of the teachers is removed, you can still have your lesson. You can still understand, you can still get it. You understand? So bicameral legislature, we are saying it duplicates lawmaking process in the sense that the two houses perform almost the same functions. And as a result, it wastes human resources. Some of the people, example, the upper house members can be used to help other areas of the economy to develop rather than also making laws as well as the first house. Another thing is that aside of wasting human resources, it also wastes money. It wastes money because the first house members are paid, the second house members are paid. What are they all doing? They're all making laws. So it wastes money. Monies that could have been used to develop other areas of the economy spent on salaries and allowances. Okay, let's move to the third one. And we are saying bicameral legislature. One of the problems is that it delays the passage of bills. It delays the passage of what? Bills. It delays the passage of bills. In a bicameral system, the two houses have to debate, discuss, and agree on the bill before it can become a law. Please just understand this. You know, when a bill is debated, discussed, and agreed upon by the first house, that doesn't end it. The second house will also go for the same bill that has been discussed, debated, agreed upon by the first house, and also carry another debate and discussion on it and approve it before it can become a law. The opposite is also true. When the first house debates and agrees upon something, the second house has to also give the approval, debate and discuss and give the approval. And we are saying that this situation delays the passage of a bill into law. The same law, the same bill, it has to be debated, agreed, discussed, and agreed by the first house and the second house. And this delays. So at the end, it will delay the passage of a bill, a very important bill that needs to be passed very, very fast, will be delayed because the first house has to do a discussion as well as the second house. Another problem about bicameral legislature or countries that are operating bicameral legislature is that it is undemocratic. Please, when we say something is undemocratic, what we mean is that it does not follow the democratic principles. So let's look at it. What is it that is in bicameral legislature that does not follow the democratic principles? If you look at Britain, Britain is operating on a bicameral legislature. If you look at Britain, their second house does not allow the practice of democracy. How? In the second house, the members of the second house, or what is known as House of Commons. In Britain, their second house is known as House of Lords. Sorry. Some of the members get to the House of Commons through appointment. And you know, appointment is not a democratic principle. But what is a democratic principle? That is election. When the people have the power, the mandate to elect their representatives, then we will say, oh, such a system is truly democratic. But in Britain, House of Lords, some of the legislators became members of the House of Commons by virtue of what? Appointment. That is undemocratic. Some of the members also became members by virtue of what? Hereditary. Those from the royal family. who are members of the House of Lords became members of the House of Lords through hereditary, and it is not democratic. In France, some of them, in France, the members secure their position. Members become members of the second house. That is the Chamber of Senate through indirect election or electoral college system. Please, when we talk about indirect election is a group of people, a group of elected representatives who turn around and elect other representatives. And Krofaya about a you. I want so I done your I say a ye and Krofo and your friend indirect election. For instance, if you elect your class captain, your assistant class captain, secretary, and treasurer, you understand? You elected them as a class, you elected these 4 people. If these people turn around and elect somebody, these 4 people, which you have elected, they turn around and elect somebody to represent the whole class in SRC meeting. That is electoral college system or indirect election. So in France, that is what happens. And it's undemocratic indirect election. A group of people who have been elected by the people who turn around and elect other representatives. That is undemocratic. The next thing is another problem of bicameral legislature is that it delays the work of the government. It delays it. It slows down the work of government. We have already explained this very point in the sense that whatever is worked on by the first house, it has to also be worked on by the second house. So this situation delays it. Sometimes they disagree. A bill that has been passed or agreed by the first house, when it gets to the second house will say, we are rejecting it. And this situation back and front, it delays the passage or it delays the work of government. So that is it. So that's bicameral system delays the work of government. This so because each government has some developmental plans which they wish to achieve within a specific period of time. Sometimes unnecessary delays may make the government fail to achieve this plan. That is it. Another one is there's a problem with power sharing. There's a problem with power sharing. That is in bicameral legislatures. Sometimes each of the houses tries to claim superiority. Each of the houses try to claim to be very powerful. If you look at US, in US, the members of the first house have been elected, and the members of the second house have also been elected. But sometimes each one tries to claim to be very powerful than the other, because after all, we've all been elected. If you look at Britain, in Britain, the first house, which is the House of Commons, tries to claim to be powerful because they argue that they have been elected and the members of the second house have not been elected. So this is a problem. It's a problem. They strive, they claim superiority among themselves. He tries to claim to be very powerful. Another one is it may lead to conflict. A situation whereby 2 houses are made to make laws, it can lead to conflict. So conflicts do emerge in bicameral legislatures. How does this conflict come about? It can come about when the 2 houses, each is claiming to be powerful than the other. You understand? when each claims to be like US. The first house claims that they have been elected, the second house also claims to be elected. So each thinks it is powerful than the other. So that is how conflict can come about. Then the conflict can also come about where a bill that had been carefully debated, discussed, and approved by the first house is rejected by the second house. The first house won't agree. Why would you reject that? That can also lead to conflict. That does not augur well for the passage of good laws. Another problem of bicameral legislature is that it is not favorable. Bicameral legislature, it is not favorable in times of emergencies. During emergencies, bicameral legislature won't be favorable. Why won't it be favorable? Because a decision that has been taken to deal with emergency situation has to also be approved by the first house, and they can be delayed. During emergencies, there is no delayance. Quick decisions need to be taken. But when we have a bicameral, whatever the first house decides on, it has to be approved by the second house, and this delays decision making. So this is where we will end as a class. We will meet tomorrow exactly 6:30 on the dot. Thank you very much. And we will talk about the structure or the hierarchy of the legislature.